Welcome to the Power of Soft Skills podcast. I'm Emily Gibbons, CEO of English and Soft Skills and communication coach to senior executives. In each episode, I'll be joined by industry leaders, HR experts, CEOs and coaches to discuss the vital role of soft skills, leadership and communication in the professional landscape. You know, success isn't just about technical expertise, it's about mastering communication, leadership and emotional intelligence. In each episode, we'll share actionable insights to help you elevate your career and build stronger and more connected teams. So whether you're just starting out or a leader aiming to improve your team's success, this podcast is for you. So let's dive in. Hello and welcome to the Power of Soft Skills podcast. I'm your host, Emily Gibbons, and I've got a fantastic episode lined up for you today. Today we're going to be talking about how learning has evolved, the rise of new methods of learning and what this means for us as trainers. The world of learning and development is changing very quickly, and as trainers we need to adapt in order to remain effective. To help me navigate through this today, I'm joined by Siham Akla. Siham is a finance and human resources professional with more than 17 years of experience. She's an ENCG STAT graduate and currently heads up the Human Capital Department at MADEF, which is a subsidiary of the CDG Group. In parallel to her professional duties, she is a visiting lecturer at many universities and business schools where she teaches taxation and international accounting. She's a mentor and a very active member of several associations. Siham, welcome.
Thank you, Emily. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me on your podcast. I'm so excited to talk about something I truly believe in, which is how learning is changing and how we, as both trainers and learners, can keep up with it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. And perhaps before we dive deep into today's conversation, you could share with us how you got involved in learning and development and what makes you so passionate about this field.
No, thank you for your introduction as well. So you've already shared my background, but I like to add something about myself. I see myself not just as a trainer, but also as a lifelong learner. And so I love learning. I love teaching. And that's why I love sharing my expertise, my insights with students, and especially in technical fields like finance and accounting. I see this as a challenge for me, but also passion. So this passion for learning and teaching has pushed me to explore and learn about these new ways of learning.
Right. Yeah. And I'm sure in your time as a teacher and trainer, you've probably seen that learning has evolved a lot. What have been sort of the major changes you've seen in learning over the last few years or since you've been involved?
Yes, maybe I will talk about the reasons why learning has changed, and there are many reasons. Maybe the most obvious one is technology, because we all agree that internet, AI tools have made learning easier, flexible, and more accessible. But technology isn't the only reason. Maybe other people think pandemic was the main driver of this change. Yeah. But in reality, digital learning started long before COVID-19, where some universities were already exploring online courses. And one of their key goals was to overcome geographical barriers by allowing students from different countries to get the same programs without any need to travel. And so this helped universities reach more students, expand their programs worldwide, and stay competitive. And then COVID-19 accelerated this change. What was just an option suddenly became a necessity. At the same time, in the workplace, jobs are evolving faster than ever. So people constantly need to learn and develop new skills to stay competitive and to succeed in their careers. So for organizations, digital learning became the perfect solution, not just to keep people up to date, but also to reduce costs and make learning flexible, accessible anytime and anywhere. So for all these factors, technology, accessibility, flexibility, pandemic as well, new ways of learning have become more common and widely accepted.
Right. And what has been the impact for learners, to move? We say most learners would have been used to the traditional way, and then with technology in the pandemic where we now have to go and change the way we learn. What's been the impact for learners? Has it been a positive impact?
Yes, it's positive and it's very helpful. It's save time on just sometimes learning at your own pace wherever you are. So it's very helpful for learners, especially when they are seeking programs in another countries. So it's very beneficial for learners.
Right. And for companies, how are they approaching this? Is it a great thing for companies, the flexible learning and all the different ways?
Yes, I said it's very helpful for companies as they can save, they can reduce costs and they can expand their training programs to all employees and give them the opportunity to study and learn at their own pace, anywhere, anytime. So this is very helpful.
Right, right. So there's a lot of new learning technologies, a lot of new learning methods coming and evolving all the time. At this moment, what are the latest trends in learning?
I see two main changes defining change. I see two main points defining changes in learning. One is the shift to digital learning, which focuses on technology. And the second is the adoption of new teaching approaches. So let's start by the first one, which is the switch from in-person to online learning. And at this point, we distinguish between two types of digital learning. We talk about asynchronous learning, so we talk about asynchronous learning and synchronous learning. So asynchronous learning means learning anytime, anywhere, at your own pace. So this includes pre-recorded videos, online sessions, e-learning platforms, which is all new tools. So students can learn independently without being restricted by location or time. Synchronous learning, on the other hand, involves live sessions at a scheduled times. So students can interact with moderators and trainers in a real time using platforms like Zoom or Teams. And within these two categories, we find different forms of learning experiences. Personally, I've experienced virtual classes where students may be physically present in the same classroom while the trainer is in another location, connected remotely. So they interact through screen, following course in real time. Also today we talk about mobile learning, which allows access to educational content through mobile applications. And this makes learning flexible and accessible anytime and anywhere. Also, we talk about immersive learning and augmented reality, and these are truly transforming the experience of learning and also training. So it makes training more engaging and interactive. And because these technologies create realistic simulations that allow students to learn practical skills in a controlled and risk-free environment. And this may be very interesting in fields like medicine or engineering.
Right, right.
Also, technologies are not only changing the way we learn, but also how we assess.
I was going to ask you about that, yes.
Yes. Yes, technologies are changing the way we assess, leading to interactive evaluation methods. Personally, I use interactive tests using platforms like Mentimentors or others, so to keep students engaged during the session and to assess their progress in real time. I also use remote post-training tests with automatic scoring, just by using Microsoft Forms, for example, so I can send quiz and get an automatic scoring. And they are very helpful as they simplify assessment and save time on correction. In addition, data analysis, data analysis plays an essential role in e-learning because, most of e-learning platforms generate a lot of statistics that can be analyzed to track learning pace, engagement, progress. So these insights are very help trainers enhance the experience of learning and provide better support to learners. The second main shift is in learning methods. So it's not just about technology, but also it's about how learning is structured and experienced. For example, in language learning, we can use gaming, serious games that keep students and learners motivated while developing new skills. It's very important. And also today we talk about action learning, which focuses on solving real-world problems rather than just studying theory.
So we talk about like the practical skills.
Yes. Yeah. So students can learn practical skills to develop expertise. And many professionals in fields like finance, management, HR use these approaches to share practical knowledge. Also, we talk about, in response to modern needs, group mentoring, master classes have become increasingly popular because they allow direct access to experts and mentors offering practical support.
And as trainers, how can trainers be up to date with the latest trends and have the necessary training to, to be ahead, if you like? Where do trainers get trained?
Trainers need to develop new skills to keep up with digital learning and also new teaching approaches. So first, they must learn to use technology. So this is very important to keep their courses more interactive, whether online or in person. So this means moving away from traditional teaching and embracing innovation. In addition, they must enhance their communication and interpersonal skills to deal with these challenges. From my own experience, these new forms of learning come with different challenges. For example, making e-learning content requires recording and perfecting videos many times, like a TV presenter's work, or just like what we're doing right now. So it's very important. And virtual classes need strong attention to keep students engaged even from a distance. Live sessions, for example, and webinars add extra pressure as trainer must deal with unexpected reactions from the audience and face them while staying confident. So this is so important. And beyond digital skills, trainers have to adapt to action learning. So today they act more as a consultant, sharing real-life experiences rather than just theoretical knowledge. So this requires preparing a lot of use cases, practical examples, direct insights. Also, trainers should make students engaged and curious about their learning. This is so important, Just think of this. Kids naturally explore and master new games of their own. Why? Because they are curious and motivated about that. So trainers should create that same interest in students to keep them motivated and engaged. One more point, I think, as trainers, our role doesn't end after a session, especially with social media. So we become community leaders, staying connected with students through messages, discussions, through LinkedIn, ongoing support. So this is a significant shift in our relationship with students.
And do you think trainers are up to date, like the trainers you work with and the training you see around you? Do you think, there's been huge shifts in terms of the learners aspect, in terms of, for the trainers, is there enough out there? Is there enough training for them to, to feed the need?
They have to, to stay relevant. They have to embrace technology, innovation, to be flexible, to develop all these skills, soft skills, to be active online, responsive, to maintain engagement, and to build a strong learning network. So I think it's very important. And those who recognize all these things will naturally seek new methods, adapt their own teaching approaches to each situation. This is very important, and maybe also create their own new ways of teaching.
Have you any strategies you could perhaps share with trainers, maybe new trainers who are entering the field, or experienced trainers who are maybe a bit slightly overwhelmed with, all this technology and all this new change? Is there any tips you could share with them?
So just to keep learning.
Yeah.
Trainers must keep learning and seeking those evolutions, those new technologies, new tools, to use them in their courses, and so just be how can I say this? So just when you are patient, when it's a patient, so you are constantly seeking new tools, new methods, and you want to share this with students. So I think this the main advice so I can share with trainers.
Wonderful. And you told me that you're a lifelong learner yourself.
Yes. I'm a lifelong learner. I think learners have to keep learning. And I remember something someone said, and it still resonates with me. He said, think of your graduation as the beginning of learning, not the end of learning. So this is a very important mindset to have for both trainers and learners.
Right, wonderful. And Madief, you're a client of English and Soft Skills, a client of mine.
Yeah.
And, we have made our own changes in that, we realised a number of years ago that as teachers, trainers, we have had to adapt, and where we integrate soft skills into our methodology of, teaching business English. I'm wondering whether you could share how your experience has been with our methodology.
I appreciate your approach in English and soft skills, which focuses on speaking exercises, more practice rather than studying grammar and classical courses. And this helps participants improve their English, and especially when they discuss topics that concern their daily lives, their business. So they learn more vocabulary, more practical phrases, English idioms. This is very helpful. Personally, I seek those opportunities to practice English, just like making this English podcast, attending English meetings and events. So it may be a challenge sometimes, but also a real opportunity. And also, I would just talk about something. Reading is important.
It is,
I used to read only English, French books. But now I read English books, especially those written by American authors. They have simple, direct style. They go straight to the point, so making it easy to read and understand. I think reading is very helpful.
Right.
But talking about reading, which is a daily activity, just reading from time to time, it can be very helpful.
Wonderful. What are you reading at the moment?
The New Earth.
Oh, yes.
It's the same author of The Power of Now. Right. It's very nice.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. Do you have any, before we wrap up, do you have any key advice, key tips you could give to trainers who are, now I'm going to re-ask that question. Let's say, do you have any key tips, key advice that you could share with trainers or professionals navigating this new world of training methods?
As I said, so to keep learning, to keep seeking these new technologies, new tools, maybe attending some events that we share new technologies, to meet people,
Right.
to meet professionals in these fields and about digital learning. So, there are many events that present these new tools. So I think trainers have to be up to date in these areas.
Yeah, so I think it's very clear that the method of training has changed an awful lot. We're now facilitators, we're now mentors.
Yeah.
I don't think we're any longer teachers in the classical sense. And, the evolution of digital and all of these technologies are, I think, fascinating. And it'll be very interesting to see how it evolves even more. And I think the rapid change, in such a short period of time, just...
Yes.
wonders, what's coming next.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's a very interesting time.
Yes.
Are you very excited about this
Yeah.
period?
Yes, and I learn also from my students.
Of course,
Yes,
of course.
the reverse
Absolutely, reverse
mentoring,
learning.
and so it's very important
Yeah.
because they are still young and they have new ideas, new approaches, and this helps me a lot.
Yeah, wonderful. So just before we finish up, any last closing comments, any last pieces of advice, anything, any message you really want to get out there?
So just, I think at the end, one word is very important. So keep learning. Keep learning. It's very important. And thank you for your podcast, for this opportunity you give me to share my insights with all those who are attending this podcast.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being on. I think your experience, your advice, and your knowledge are really important. And I think as trainers and as learners, there's so much that we can take out of what you've shared with us today. It was really fascinating, and I'll be interested to see where your journey also takes you. So thank you so much, Siham. Really appreciate that.
Thank you, Emily.